Guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Well, you guys are all familiar with little Michael Joseph Vaughan, otherwise known as Monkey. There is, I don't want to say an update because it's not an update so much as it's a kind of a status situation that KTVB did a interview. They spoke with Brandy Neal, of course, Michael's mama, as well as Fruitland Police Department's Chief Huff regarding where the case is today. And as we all know that are part of Monkey's army, it feels like it just keeps going, and we're just waiting, and we're waiting for the Payette County District Attorney's Office to get that grand jury intervened and get some charges and have some arrests made. I mean, there's 4 suspects, and this is spoken about by Chief Huff. And according to Fruitland Police Department, they have received more than 2,000 tips about little Michael. And it does feel like we've hit a brick wall. And as frustrated as you could tell Fruitland Police Department is, because they have a huge devotion, as much as anyone, to Michael's case and the Vaughan family. We can never give up. And we never will. We see how strong Brandy is, and if his mama and his family can hold up so strongly, I mean, all we can do is be right behind her and continue to be the strong army for her and to help bring Monkey home.
How has this case weighed on you in the last several years?
I can't really explain that in words,
The Fruitland Police Department wants Idahoans to know it hasn't stopped looking for Michael Vaughan. The then 5-year-old known as Monkey disappeared from his home in July of 2021. Abby Davis has been following this story, and Abby, the chief, says they're still sifting through tips and conducting searches.
Jude, he says the case isn't cold even as the 4-year anniversary of Michael's disappearance approaches.
This is one of the worst case scenarios for any small city.
The disappearance of Michael Monkey Vaughan.
He is energetic, very inquisitive, loves the moon and stars.
Brandy Neal's second youngest.
He wants answers to everything. He wants to know how everything works.
Neal wears reminders of him as she tries to make sense of all that's happened since the phone call from Monkey's dad that forever changed their lives in July 2021.
He was frantic and told me he couldn't find Michael.
I'd just gotten home from work.
It's a day Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff will never forget either.
I received a phone call from my captain. He just explained that we had a missing child.
Huff says it soon became clear this case was different.
In those places where we would commonly see or find those children that were, lost for a little while, all of those areas had been checked, and Michael was not there. We started looking at it from the criminal aspect at that point.
And it just kind of all melds together. Just searching, the questions, the worry. It felt like the whole world just stopped.
I can't fathom, to this day, I can't fathom how Brandy can be so strong. And the fact that she says the world just stopped, well, it did. For the Vaughan family, it truly did. And as much as we all love and understand, we have this strength we want to pass along to the family, to law enforcement, everyone, the DA's office to bring Monkey home, at the core is Brandy. She's really an amazing woman.
And then kept going.
Huff says they've never stopped digging. The last major breakthrough in the case was more than 2 years ago. Crews dug up suspects Stacey and Sarah Wondra's backyard that sits just a few blocks from Michael's home. Police say they had credible information from someone living in the Wondra's house the young boy's body was there. Cadaver detection dogs alerted to human remains, but none were found.
You said that you guys believe he was buried in the Wondra's backyard and then potentially moved elsewhere. Is that still the case?
That's still my belief.
The Wondras are still suspects, so are Adreinne Lucienne and Brandon Shurtliff, who lived with the couple at their Red Wing Street house.
Were you involved in the disappearance of Michael Vaughan?
No.
In an interview with KTVB last year, Stacey said he didn't know anything about Michael's abduction or where the little boy is today.
I have no reason to hide anything from anybody. I'm not that type of person.
Stacey has been in and out of custody for a couple of years after pleading guilty to an unrelated gun crime, then violating conditions of his supervised release. Sarah is in prison until at least 2026 on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence unrelated to Michael's disappearance. Huff says he knows where Lucienne and Shurtliff are, but wouldn't elaborate further on any of the suspects since it's an active investigation.
And I completely understand that the chief and the department can't elaborate on that. But I'm not surprised when he stated that he knew where Brandon and Adreinne are. They know. These four are on the radar, and they will continue to be until Michael is brought home.
He says he's confident the right people will one day be held accountable.
It's been said in the past that, no body, no crime. I would just tell you that I don't believe that holds water. And the only reason I say that is because with the volumes of circumstantial evidence that you can obtain.
We need that one piece, that one little piece to tell us where Michael is.
Do you have hope that they'll bring Michael home?
Yes. One way or another.
Huff believes there are people out there that know what happened to Michael or have information about his disappearance. The chief urges them to call or text this number with any tips, 208-343-COPS. You can also send an email to findmichael@fruitland.org.
And I always include this phone number, email, any information for tips, information in the information of every single one of my monkey videos. It is important, it is vital that this last piece be found, become forward. I do believe that 2025, this is the year that this family is going to get the closure that they need. And if you are that person, let me just say that, if you are that, or you are one of the people that knows something and you're not saying something, it's time to buck up and pick up that phone. It's time to put on your big girl panties and send an email. Brandy and Tyler and the kids, they deserve better than this. Michael deserves better than this. It's time that we can bring Monkey home and get justice for little Michael. And Samantha over at PNW Missing Persons, I'm going to include her channel in the information of the video. Please do check it out. She spoke recently with suspect Stacey Wondra, and Brandy Neal took the link and came up to the panel. I'm not going to go through the entire the entire panel. Just gonna, go show some bits and pieces because I want you guys to go over there. But here's a bit of it, and of course some of my commentary. And I'm trying to be nice because I tell you what, my blood pressure goes up when I hear the crap that comes out of this guy's mouth.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Sam.
Hey, Brandy. How are you feeling?
Not well.
I'm sorry, honey.
Hello, Mr. Wondra.
You can address me by my name. It's okay. We're all.
It's my preference.
I got you. That's fine.
I have so many questions. So many. One, your lawsuit and slander. It's not slander if you're a named suspect. Correct?
Not a named suspect. That was the media that fucking got that twisted.
Excuse me, named suspect.
Can't hear you very good, Stacey, and I think it's because you got your things in. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
So, Stacey, why did you contact law enforcement and say that you gave that tip about Michael being buried in your backyard?
I never contacted them. It was when they had approached me at about the 5th interview that I had with them. After telling them the same exact statement that I've given them the last 4 times.
I've been trying to put like a timeline of everything together. Like from your recollection of that day with what I've seen you do with the internet with YouTube creators and stuff. I've tried to watch all of them, and you talk about your timelines and everything, and then you've discussed about your timeline with law enforcement. I'm just curious because you're stating all these different times in all these different people, these different people's interviews. I'm sorry, you have to forgive me right now. I'm very, very sick. My mental fog is absolutely hell. And honestly speaking with you is
Not easy.
No, sir, it is not easy.
I don't believe you. I mean, I don't blame you. Like, Brandy, I've been trying to talk to you for like a minute, and I know it's taken a lot.
Stacey, you cut out.
Sorry.
There you go.
Like, I know it's not easy talking to me, Brandy, and it's not, it's never gonna be easy talking to me because and all you've heard is my videos that I've done with either law enforcement or done on YouTube, but I've never directly spoken with you. Like, I need you to know, Brandy, I didn't have anything to do with your little boy. Nor did Sarah, and nor did Brandon. We would never allow ourselves to be involved or play a part in something as serious as like this, let alone I have a felony history, but guess what? My felony history doesn't pertain to sex offense crimes.
My history doesn't pertain to sex crimes? Stacey, who the hell said anything about sexual crimes? Another slip? You didn't say, oh, my history doesn't have anything to do with abducting or hurting children. That's not what you said at all. Your choice of words is always, it's always very interesting.
I have 2 federal gun charges and 4 state felonies, 1 in Idaho and 3 in Oregon. Like, I want your boy to be found just as much as everybody else does. It's not fair. And I wish that, you know, that he could be brought back to be reunited with you, because that's what you deserve.
Listen to the way he speaks. I wish he could be brought back to you to be reunited. Just think about how he's speaking.
I wish that I could magically make him come back for you.
This is very telling to me. This is very, very telling. When I first heard it, I was stunned. I really was stunned.
Like, I hurt every day because I feel for you guys. And if I could make some fucking magic happen, I would. If I could fucking automatically just play the psychic detective, I would. I don't have anything to give you, Brandy. And I'm sorry you're suffering, and I'm sorry you're sick.
This tells me he is basically stating, in my opinion, I wish I could go back and we would have never abducted your son, Michael. That is exactly how his words are resonating in my brain. Exactly. I wish there was some sort of magic that we can go back. And you're hurting, Stacey? Yeah. Yeah, you're really hurting now, but you just wait, buddy.
I wish you didn't have to be sick, because it's not fucking fair. Huh?
I'm asking Brandy if she's there.
I'm down with totally. So I got tonight and tomorrow. That's it. Okay. I cannot run out.
Do you have any more questions?
Brandy, you can ask me any questions you want.
You want me to have a again?
I can only give you the truth, and everything that I've said before. There's no difference to it. I wish I had answers to give you directly other than what you have already said.
I know you're having a hard time talking, Brandy, and I'm sorry.
Brandy, it's okay. You can ask me your questions when you're ready. I will answer everything as honestly with an honest answer. But ask him when you're ready.
Is there anything that you have to say maybe about Adreinne or anything and his involvement in all this, or anything?
I can't. All I know is that Adreinne was the only one left home that night. Like, I can't speak, and nor will I speak on Adrienne's behalf, because we weren't with him that night. But what I can also tell you is that I know from what the lawyer I spoke with and what he had confirmed is exactly everything that I've been trying to say and tell you guys, that we have not had any involvement in this.
Oh, you're going to have fun.
Like, this is going on 3 fucking years. Almost 3.5.
You know, it's just, I guess it's just crazy to me, because, I mean, you even have Sarah talking about, you know, Adrienne's the one that did it to Michael, and that you're the one who buried him, and then you're the one who says something about a tip in the backyard. So, I mean, these 3 things specifically tie both of you guys in somehow. I mean, why would you ever admit to any of that if you didn't have some kind of.
But I never admitted to any of it. That's what you guys don't understand. Did you not hear any of like Sarah's shit when she got arraigned in court, where they initially charged her, and how she claimed to be me in court? Like, I'm not making justifications, nor am I protecting her. But she obviously had a lot of mental shit going on internally. What I can tell you and what I can give you is what I've given you. I only speak for myself at this point. But I can also tell you that Brandon and Sarah were with me that whole night.
Take a few deep breaths, Brandy. We know that it's hard. We know.
You can ask me any questions you want, Brandon. You can ask me anything you want, and I'm only going to give you the truth.
No. To Granny Smith. You don't want to bring it up fast? No,
Why are you lying? Who are you lying to? Me or law enforcement? Or the world?
I'm not lying to anybody. I haven't lied, Brandy. And that's the thing. Like, I don't have, nor have I had any involvement with something like this. Like,
however, not all of it is.
Your boy deserves to come home to you. And I want nothing more than for him to come home to you and your family. Yeah, I'm on a video. Sorry. Like, I can only give you what I've given law enforcement, what I have given the world of YouTube. I wish that I could give you something more. I wish that I could be a psychic fucking detective or an investigator that could just tell you who's responsible for this. What I can tell you is it wasn't me, and it wasn't Sarah, and it wasn't Brandon.
It had all after his surgery. Yeah. To bring it up to you. A big portion of it. That need a big portion.
You're stating right now that it was not you, nor Brandon, nor Sarah, nor Adreinne?
I can't speak on Adrian's behalf. Adreinne was the only one that was home at night.
That's got the most iron that it's.
But I also know that Adreinne did not have access to any of our vehicles. We never left our vehicles or the keys available to him. Say it again.
You say you can't speak for Adreinne.
I don't know what I will be.
Okay. Does Sarah take insulin?
Yes, she's insulin dependent.
Oh, can I get some water? There's nothing fucking cooked seed.
How come Sarah said you buried Michael in the backyard?
Put in a little bit of ranch.
How come what?
Sarah said you buried Michael in the backyard.
Just like she said that her name was Stacey in court. Just like she said that the most highest God told me that Stacey did it. Just like the most highest God told me that he was buried in Carson's backyard. Does any of her fucking statements make sense? Because I'm pretty sure, Brandy, that I have told the same fucking, given the same statement, given everything. And it's never, and I literally, when I've done the podcasting,
It's kind of, we don't have
that my information may not be 100% to the T, as this is almost a 3.5-year-old case.
1,240 days to be exact.
Hey. And I'm sorry that it's been that long. You should not have to go through what you're going through, Brandy. And I'm sorry that you are. And I'm sorry that you're suffering.
Oh, well, no, go with the deflection. Were Sarah and Adreinne making fake girl accounts to get, how do I say this? YouTube politically correct? Ladies of the night. How does that work? Yeah, is that okay, Sam?
Yeah. You say anything you want to, Mama.
Did you know about that, Stacey? Did you know Sarah and Adreinne were making false accounts to get working women?
No, I did not. But I also know that Adreinne had approached Sarah and said that he said that if you help me create fake accounts, that I'll pay you a percentage. And I remember telling Sarah specifically, don't fucking do it.
So you didn't have any involvement in them setting up fake accounts to
No.
guys and
I
rob
no,
them
no,
because they
not
were
at all.
smarter than you?
Not at all. I wouldn't allow myself with that.
They didn't set that up? Oh, but so you knew that they were setting it up, but because they were smarter than you, Adreinne and Sarah were, that they were going to do it to rob these people so you guys had money?
No, and we never, to my knowledge, the only income that we were getting, Brandy, was from our taxi, from doing taxi rides. There's a reason Aero Express got put out of business because of their pricing and how they were out charging people. There's a reason we were the only taxi company in Fruitland, between Fruitland, Ontario. Like, that was our source of income.
That was the only, what happened? Oh, the lube company.
The lube company didn't work out specifically because Arturo Rojas, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Mm-hmm.
You cut out, Stacey. Oh, there you are.
I'm right here. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, I got blow my
No, like Arturo Rojas was the owner of the Looks New, the detail building that we were renting a shop bay out of.
I know, but
And in our contract agreement that we assigned, it said that he would allow us to use the air compressor that was set up in there and the wash bay system to be able to spray off the concrete inside the shop so that we didn't leave oil stains.
Yeah, we know.
And we had and when his daughter had come in there doing an inspection and coming to talk to us, I had the air compressor going and she threw a fit about it. And then it caused a huge conflict with her and her dad. And we just decided that, look, like, we're not going to do this. Like, we had an agreement. It was in the contract that you would allow us to use the air compressor and the stuff in the shop until we were able to get our own air compressor and get it on our feet. And so that's the reason we had moved out of that shop. We have also had a company called Wondra Mechanic and Repair.
Mm-hmm.
And that was only a temporary thing because I just, I didn't want to.
You had all of these. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you had all of these businesses that you tried to get to work, right? I want to know more about this plan to setting up fake accounts and pretending to be women.
I can't. Here's the thing. So I can't give you more than what I can tell you right now.
You can't tell me about how Adreinne.
No. Like, what I'm telling you is I don't know anything other than Adreinne, when he first came in to stay with us, had approached Sarah and said, hey, I'm trying to find a way to make some money. I have an idea that we could create some fake accounts as women and get money from people. And I specifically told Adreinne and Sarah, I said, no, you guys shouldn't be doing this shit. That's illegal, number one. And number two, it's not right to take from people.
Okay.
And I specifically told Adreinne because he claimed that he got disability or fucking workers' comp out of the state of New York somehow or some way. Because the whole deal was when we agreed to let him stay with us, it was, oh, I'll pay you, I'll pay you $250 a week to rent out that room. And we're like, okay. And then when the first week came, and because he's like, oh, I get paid this such and such day. I forget what day it was. He's like, when I get paid this day, I'll give you guys $250. Well, that day came, and he's like, oh, well, my money didn't hit. And then we're like, okay, well, like we're just going to add it on to, what you owe us for this week. Well, then the next week, I'm sorry. I apologize for being,
Thank you,
swearing.
Stacey.
I don't mind the swearing. Absolutely not. We know I have a similar, but if it's bothering other people, definitely.
I know, and I apologize, guys. I'm sorry for the words. Brandy,
Thank you for-
I can't give
Stacey,
you.
go ahead. I really want to hear more about Adreinne and his time with you guys, because I want to understand more of this. Was that okay? I'm sorry. Please continue. Finish what you were stating about how Adreinne didn't pay you the $275, and then the next week you were at the next week. I'm sorry.
So after the second week came, he was like, "Oh, well, I can only give you $150." Well, it became a repetitive pattern. And see, when Adreinne, so Adreinne was a quote unquote taxi ride that Sarah had taken the call, and when Adreinne had called her, and this is what Sarah told me, that Adreinne had called her and said that he was going through a hard time. He was staying in Caldwell behind some fucking some dumpster, or whatever he claimed. And Sarah had asked me, so she goes, so I wanted to talk to you. She goes, I have this taxi customer that had called that, is going through a hard time. He's down and out, and she goes, I wanted to talk to you about possibly helping out with a place to stay. And I told Sarah specifically, I said, you know how I feel about this. I said, yes, I don't have a problem helping somebody out. I said, but we have been burned on multiple accounts from helping people out. And I told Sarah that it was not a good idea. I did not feel good about it in my gut. But I told her, I was like, look, I said, you're going to do what you want to do. I'm not trying to argue.
Okay.
So if you bring him here, then bring him here.
Okay.
Well,
Let me cut you off right there, because I don't want my brain to get muffled right now.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
So let's go to that day that Adreinne brought up this.
The fake profile?
Yeah. Did Adreinne come the same day that Michael was taken?
No. Adreinne had come, I think he was at our house for at least 2 months.
2 months before then? When was the time that he brought up the
day he came to stay with us? It was that night.
Because
we were trying to confirm with him. We were basically trying to vet him because he was claiming how he got employment benefits from New York, but then his story didn't match up to me. I just didn't get it. I was like, how do you get employment benefits from another state when you don't even live in that state? It just didn't make sense to me. And then when he approached the question about saying, hey, there's a way we can make money, he had asked Sarah. He didn't ask me. He had asked Sarah, and I was in the room. And he had asked and said, hey, would you be willing to help me if, create some fake profiles and we can make money off of people? And I specifically told Sarah, and I looked at her and I said, no. And I looked at Adreinne too, and I said, no. I said, I'm not okay with this. I said, that's not okay to take from people. Or is it okay to create a fake account just so you can bank off of somebody and create, a false prostitution app or account? I said, I'm not okay with that. And I told them that, and I told them my boundary.
Wow.
And from that point on, I don't know what happened.
So let me clear. So the night that you met Adreinne, and he came to live with you guys. He proposed this to you all.
Correct.
Okay. And then, so he continued to stay with you, and this was 2 months prior to Michael being
Your boy's disappearance.
his abduction, correct. So I'm sorry. If I got the chance to speak to you, I'm trying to go off. I have a list of things I want to ask, and I'm trying to.
Randy, ask anything you want. I'm an open book.
So, of course, since you guys, the four of you, Adreinne, Brandon, and Sarah, have been named suspects in the abduction of my son, Michael Joseph Vaughan, I have looked into a lot of things. I court documents. What was the domestic violence involved in that Adreinne was involved in July of 2021? I believe it was July 24th, 2021. So he would have been living with you at that time.
I have no knowledge of any domestic violence. When we started getting so initially when law enforcement when your boy had gotten abducted, when the police department and the detectives had came and done meeting with everybody, when the detectives got done meeting with everybody in our within our household, I believe it was Juanita or Anita or whatever her name is, came and told us, that you guys know that Adrian's a known human trafficker. And I was like, what? Because we don't do background checks on you know what I mean? We didn't we're Christian people, we felt like helping people was what God wanted us to do. So what would be the point? Maybe, definitely in the future, if this ever, if we're to help somebody out, yeah, I'm going to vet everybody. I'm going to do background checks. But that's that wasn't even a thought in our head. You know what I mean? And so give me 1 second.
I appreciate it. Everybody understand that I am speaking to Mr. Wondra on my own free will. I want answers. I want questions answered. I need to know who's lying. I want to know. In California, it was the domestic charges, for Adreinne, or not charges. The June 24th, 2020, July 24th, 2021. It was in California. So if he was living with you in July, here in Idaho, how was he involved in a domestic dispute in California 3 days prior to Michael's abduction?
That's a great question, because I never knew anything about him having any domestics or any open cases in any other state. Again, we never did background checks.
Well, no. I'm seeing you. I'm saying to you right now. You see how this sounds like a lie, because you're saying Adreinne lived with you 2 months prior to Michael's abduction.
Yeah, I believe he came in April or May or something like that. It was one of those months. So, and that raises the question too, because he was with us.
So he was with you in Idaho, but got charged in California?
Maybe it was a sentence. Maybe it was a court like a video arraignment or a video sentencing, because a lot of times they do that. I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Well, that's just one of the things that popped up. That's been kind of stuck in the back of my head. So I've heard your statements about Brandon and Sarah being.
You can say it, Randy.
Being intimate. Did Adreinne and Sarah have a sexual relationship?
So I can't confirm like me seeing it. I heard that from L.E. or Detective Keller or whatever, Kellum or whatever her name is. Mm-hmm. And that's how I learned that. That's also how I learned that she quote unquote said that he was a human trafficker.
Stacey, your wife was all about getting it on. And I can't even imagine who would want her, but the bottom line is Sarah wanted as many males in that house for her as possible, and she wanted a baby. You couldn't give her the baby, so apparently she tried Brandon and possibly Adreinne. She wanted somebody to give her a child. And that's exactly how the abduction of Michael came.
Which I didn't learn that until after, when they were doing the search and stuff like that. So that really like messed with me, mentally, because I'm like, who the hell is this dude? And why is he even in our house?
But, well, how did he get there? Because
Sarah had brought him. And that's what I told you. So when Sarah had called me and said, I have this taxi customer, he's going through a rough time, like, what do you think about helping him out? And then that's when I told her, I said, you know how I feel about this. We've already been burned time and time again. I said, you're opening up the door to be burned again.
Why
and then it really set it off.
In July?
Say it again.
Why did you go to Montana in July of 2021?
Who?
You and Sarah? Why did you go to Montana? You were in Montana in July 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, no, I had gone to go see my mom and dad.
Oh, okay.
They lived at the time in Belgrade, Montana. And I had actually just was able, like, because my dad had been very guarded, because I had hurt him like emotionally pretty bad. And so he had finally like let his guard down enough to allow me to come to the house and see them. And it had already been 2 or 3 years since I had seen them. And so Sarah and I took a trip up there, and that was actually at the same time that my grandma and I took, we had gone to the GMC dealership in Bozeman because I had to go get a key remade for the Blazer that my grandfather had left me before he passed away in 2019.
How long were you in Montana?
We were only there for a couple of days. I think maybe a day or two. And then we had come back because we had to get back to our taxi. So we didn't have much time to really do anything other than, like I said, it was just to go spend some time and catch up with my family.
So Brandon and Adreinne were living with you at that time, correct?
Correct.
I mean, I need answers, and I'm.
You, my love, have.
Thank you all for being here.
You do not need to apologize for anything at all.
Thank you, everyone, for being here, and everybody that's here. Please continue to share Michael. Share his story, share his picture. Sarah and Stacey Wondra are still named suspects. Stacey, you are a named suspect in the abduction of Michael Joseph Vaughan, my son. And I am here to get answers. And I need them, and I want them. And I'm not going to give up.
It's convenient he had some technical issues right that timing, huh? Yeah. It's convenient when suspects are getting to a point where they have to answer some hard questions that something happens. Makes me think of the Wells. Crossing cases is never something I do too much, but you know how when the Wells would be online, you had Candace always on panels and what have you, talking about this, that, and the other thing. When she was asking for cash apps, her phone worked great. Whenever somebody had to talk to her, man, that phone dropped signal like nothing else.
We lost Stacey. He'll probably come back. He was having some issues right before then. Here's Stacey. He's back. So you can ask him more about it.
I am so sorry. I accidentally X'd out of the video on accident.
Don't push buttons. I'm just kind of baffled on all of these places, that You say you were, and the times have changed.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So, is this like, are these questions that you're asking, Brandy, are they coming from you directly, or are they coming from like law enforcement asking you to ask them?
These ones are questions that
You've come up with.
That I've come
No,
up
and
with.
that's fine. I was just curious. I just, you know what I mean.
Did these questions come from you or from law enforcement? Why? Did law enforcement scare you? Huh? They made you cry like a baby when you finally gave up that Michael was in the backyard, huh? Yeah, I know, they scare you, and as I record this, you're back behind bars. I'll tell you, Stacey, there's a lot of smart people out here. No, we're not detectives, we're not investigators, okay? But Brandy, like I said before, Brandy has done her homework. She knows a lot of things.
What were your questions on your
Polygraph?
Yeah.
So the questions they literally asked me, there's 5 questions. They asked me, is the door shut? Is the light on in the room? What number did I write down on the wall? Not me, but these are literally verbatim what he asked me.
Mm-hmm.
What number did I write down on the wall? And the last 2 were, do you have any knowledge or any information or any involvement in Michael's disappearance? And I said no. And then he asked if you knew of any involvement or had any information or knew something of his involvement, would you report it? And I said yes. And that's literally the 5 questions they asked me. And then when I completed the polygraph, he said, "Give me a minute, I'll be right back." And he came back and he goes, "How do you feel you did?" And I said, "I told the truth." And he goes, "You're right, you did."
Huh.
That's what I'm thinking, Brandy. Huh. Yeah. You see, though, polygraphs are not admissible in court. Okay? They are a tool only. And he could lie to you. Cops can lie to you. And let's say you did pass the test, Stacey. There are ways to quote unquote beat a polygraph test. And seeing as how you're a pretty sneaky criminal kind of guy, I think you might know some of those things. So to me, the polygraph kind of means nothing.
Those were
the 5 questions that he asked me. He only asked me 5 questions, and what questions I told you is what he asked me.
Would you take another?
Of course, I'd take another one. I'd take another one in a heartbeat.
Okay.
This is the thing. Like, I'm like,
I heard that Sarah had said something about God taking Michael to.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I was trying to tell you. So all of this, like you question, like, why is she saying that you did it? But that's why I made the point of, why would she go in court and say, "Oh, Stacey told me this," and then she claimed that she was Stacey? Why would she? Excuse me. Why would she say that? "Oh, the Most Highest God told me that this happened." "Oh, God told me that Stacey did it," or you know what I mean? Like, her story was like, she was going through a very messed up situation mentally and emotionally. Mm-hmm. It's not easy being labeled something that you didn't do. And I'm just like,
it was my husband.
I don't know anything about your husband. Okay, and I'm sorry if he's going through this stuff too. And it's not fair and it's not right. But Brandy, I have no reason to lie to you.
Somebody needs to tell the truth.
No, exactly. 100%. But I need you to know one thing, Brandy, is that I don't have a reason or a want to lie about something like this to you. I want Michael to come home just as much as everybody else in this world. He doesn't deserve to be separated from his family, or he didn't deserve to be taken from his family.
You know, I have to wonder if he gets some sort of perverted thrill out of torturing the victim's family by him telling Brandy this. Oh, I want him to come home. He deserves to be with his family. All this other crap that comes out of his mouth. Because it just makes me sick. He makes me want to vomit. And sorry, that's a little descriptive, but he makes me sick.
And I'm going to be straight up with you. If I ever find out who did it and I encounter this person somehow or some way in the world, they're not going to have a very good time. And I can promise you that. This is not like a threat. It's facts and it's reality. As a matter of fact, I beat the crap out of a sex offender in prison. Just recently, in the last couple months, back in July. I beat the frick out of this dude. Because he sat there.
I saw it.
Like, I don't play with this stuff. Like, I don't think you realize, Brandy, like I'm a very good person at heart. And I would never allow myself to have involvement, or let alone be known or made known that somebody had involvement without me dealing with it myself and taking it to law enforcement after I beat the fuck out of the person. Like, I'm not okay with this at all. And I'm sorry, excuse my language.
Did you tell anybody in Ada County?
Ada County, no. But what I've learned is that people in Ada County are sitting there 20%. Are in the jail, are trying to give false quote, I don't know, that's what I've been told, but they're trying to give something, like telling out law enforcement that I told them where this little boy was. And I never would ever talk about my stuff, especially to people in jail. It's none of their business, number one. Yeah, I've been blasted all over the media, so I don't really have to explain myself, other than I didn't do it. I wish I could give you more answers, Brandy. I wish I could give you and tell you who the person is that did this. I wish you didn't have to suffer. This is not fair.
No, it's not. Why did Sarah's behavior change so drastically after Michael was abducted? The TikToks, you're her husband. You talk
I know.
to her every day, Stacey, don't you?
Say it again.
You talk to her every day.
Yeah, but I also know that Sarah was very conceited and she hid a lot of stuff, just like the gun that she held Tanner at gunpoint with. I had no knowledge about her having a gun. The gun that she had, she ended up selling it to Carson. So it made absolutely no sense.
Stacey, would you help me get Michael home? No,
Wait, say it again.
Will you help me get Michael home? Please.
I can do everything I can. I can help try to find him, Brandy. I don't know where to even to start. I want to give you answers, Brandy. I want to tell you who the fuck did this. And if I could, I would. But I don't have anything to give you, and I am tore up for you. I want your boy to come home, Brandy.
Do tell the truth, please.
I don't have any tell the truth to give you. I've told everything I can, Brandy. You don't understand. Yes, I understand that's your boy. I know, Brandy. And if I had an answer to give you, if I had an answer to bring, no, I don't, Brandy.
You would help me.
Brandy, I would turn the person in a heartbeat. You don't understand, Brandy. I'm not the person that did this.
Please,
I don't know how much more clear I can be.
Hero, Stacey, please.
Brandy, I want to be your hero and bring him home, but I don't have anything.
I don't want you to be my hero. I want you to be Michael's hero.
I know, and I want to be his hero too, but I can't without having something to give them, Brandy. I'm trying to explain this to you. What do I tell them?
Tell them
What do I
about
just?
Sarah. Tell them about Brandon, please.
I don't. I told them everything. That's what you don't.
Them.
Brandy, I'm not protecting them, Brandy. What am I? Because I'm pretty sure I've just told the truth every freaking time that I've done a statement, Brandy.
Then
I don't know what you.
Enforcement saying you're a suspect. Why is there evidence that Michael was at your house? Why did you say he was buried in that backyard? Why did you lie? Why did you tell them that? I had to sit here and listen to those trucks every day. You seen him that night.
Brandy.
You seen him that night. Tell me about the kid. Tell me about the kid on the road. Was it him?
That was not him. No, it was not him.
How come he changed ages, sex, color of hair? All of your statements. How come that little boy? Were you okay? You said you pulled off out of the neighborhood up here on 8th. There are no houses here. You cannot see down 6 houses.
How can you tell me I can't see 6 houses? That was not your son, Brandy. What do you want me to say?
You changed your story continuously, and then you
No,
said,
I haven't.
Yes, you have.
I have specified in every one of my podcasts that I have done that my information may not be 100% clear as it has been almost 3.5 years. Would you remember something 3.5 years verbatim, detail? Would you? Because I guarantee you wouldn't. Nobody can remember something identical, pinpointing it to it.
Hold up 1 second. We need to give Brandy a second to calm down and breathe for a minute.
Tell me, what was the boy doing that you saw on the road that night?
It wasn't your boy, Brandy. And he was outside of some house playing down the road.
Which house?
On the right-hand side. I don't know what house. I don't know exactly what house. I don't have an address to give you other than it was literally probably like 4 or 5 houses on the right-hand side of the road. And it was not Michael.
Let's not yell, Stacey. Let's not yell, Stacey.
You would have had to drive by the kid, right?
Correct. But by the time I had filled up the power steering and we had taken off, he had already gone back inside with his family.
How do you know
I had watched because I don't know that it was family's house. All I know is I watched somebody come out of the side of their house and told them that it was time to come inside. And that's all I know. What else do you want me to give you? It wasn't your boy. You want to make up something?
So you saw a little boy. You pulled off the side of the road on 8th. Was it directly outside?
No. Clarify. I did not see the little boy until after I had gotten out of the truck and opened the hood, and I heard noise coming from the background of somebody playing in the yard of the house. Just to get that straight. We didn't pull off because we saw somebody playing in the front yard. To clarify.
Okay.
This is hard to hear, guys, and my heart breaks so much for Brandy. And watching this multiple times it still breaks my heart. The goal of this asshat. The goal, Stacey. You've got so much freaking nerve. It's bad enough you abducted. You were part of an abduction. You stole her son. You stole little Michael Vaughan. But now you're going to continue to torture his mother in this way and lie to her and let her be begging you right there for you to help her to finally tell the truth. And you're going to continue to throw out bullshit. Excuse my French, guys. You know, I don't do it much here. Continue to throw out garbage. Spew all this garbage out. Again, Stacey Wondra makes me sick. Literally sick. And it burns me up. It really, really burns me up. I'm sure my blood pressure is really not good right now. But I'm going to stop it right here. And please go over, if you haven't watched this, please go over to Samantha's channel, because this is very, very, very important. And she's doing amazing work for Michael and other missing children. I wish I could do more. I know you guys do too. But this monster on the screen, he can do more. But he won't. Even when the mother of this baby is begging him to tell the truth, he won't. Tells you the kind of person and the kind of people we're dealing with here, huh? Alright, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.